So the Echoes of Nature and Planted Tree update have finally arrived, and I had the opportunity to check it out early. Most of these clips are going to be from our live first look stream on the channel, so if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link in the description and the end of the video. Now, so I'm going to go over like the free update stuff first. That is basically the Planted Tree update that adds planting trees, getting seedlings, growing the trees, and you'll be able to like cut them down just like normal trees. They'll act like every normal tree. But the other quality of life thing they added was the... Let me get this out of the way. If you have your hammer out and you look at your crafting wheel here, we got something new called move mode. If you have a house and you've placed it and you want to move it, normally what you got to do is you got to deconstruct, break everything down, get rid of it, build it back up somewhere else. You don't need to do that anymore. You can just slap it and you can just decide where you want to place this house. And it's that easy. Like, doesn't cost anything. You just go to move mode, you hit it, you can get it into the right position you want. If you're like, oh, I need to move it an inch to the left, I don't want to break it down, you can just, shift it a little to the left, shift it to the right, shift it forward, spin it around. But this works for any building. So any of my houses over here, like if I want to move any of these, I can just pick it up and move it, and the people are still in it. So you don't have to worry about anybody like getting kicked out and having to rehome anybody. That is one of the features. It's a big quality of life change that I feel like a lot of people have been really wanting. So I'm happy we're getting that. Another thing I forgot to mention is that the move mode works for most things, including decorations and the new plantable trees. The only thing I wasn't able to move were fields, orchards, fences, or trees that already existed. And then, of course, the big part of the update is the planted tree update. You probably noticed I have this line of trees going down here. These aren't natural. I planted all these trees, and they actually have names like spruce tree A, B, C, D, and E. And you can kind of tell like some of them have their own different models. So if you go to your decorations, we have this new natural decorations tab in the crafting wheel, and you can see like the decorations that are added to the Echoes of Nature DLC are marked with like the little spring flower symbol. But all the trees are, like I said, they're free. So we have 5 trees of each. So you got 5 spruce trees, you got 5 birch trees, and you got 5 maple trees. And each of these trees, basically every decoration in this update, has a model for each season. So they're all, everything that you see in this update looks different depending on the season. And obviously, since they're a tree, you can cut the tree down. This isn't just a decoration. You can cut the tree down and get resources from it. So if you want to plant a spruce tree, you need a spruce seedling. If you want a birch tree, you need a birch seedling. And if you want a maple tree, you need a maple seedling. And you get these just from cutting trees down. One thing that makes it a lot easier to see the model, because when you plant it, it's going to have to grow. So if you use photo mode, you can actually see what the full model of the tree is going to look like before you place it. So every tree that you plant is going to take a year to grow. So they do grow faster than maybe like a normal tree. And if you leave the stump, of course, they'll still grow back. Every tree doesn't drop seedlings though. So you may have to go around and cut some trees down till you get one. So you see how I got a birch seedling from that tree. While we're running around, you'll probably see there's a bunch of logs around my village. I've just been chopping down trees trying to get seeds. So yeah, you're gonna see logs everywhere. Now let's see if we can get a maple seed. See, first maple tree, we got a maple seed. You don't always have to just cut trees down to get them manually. Villagers can't farm these, so if you have like a woodshed, you're not going to be able to just like generate them like you can with logs, sticks, spruce bark, so on and so forth. But sometimes you can buy them in town. So let me run over to my brother, my boy Markuslav, and see if he's got anything for us. There he is. Markuslav, my brother. But if you go to crafting here and just look through here, sometimes you will find that he has seedlings. Sometimes he's not going to have seeds though. So as we can see, he's got a maple seed here. If you go by number, I don't think I've ever seen them have more than one at a time. And some seasons he just doesn't have them. But luckily, like I said, you can get these manually just by cutting trees down. But he's got a birch seedling and a maple seedling. So we're just going to buy those. Aside from Markuslav, you can also buy the seedlings from the farming vendors. So that includes Zevia and Piastovia, Edwin and Gastovia, etc. And just so I don't have to come back here, because I would have to otherwise. If you want to get the Echoes of Nature DLC resources, because some of these things take special or new items. The rocks still take rocks, but like shrubs, like you can see green shrub seed, wild rosebush seed, those are completely brand new items, and you can buy all these at the exotic goods vendor, Domazir.
How do you do?
Once again, go to crafting and you'll see exotic goods just selling everything. Like there's no new bushes that you like harvest to get these. You just talk to Domazir or any exotic goods vendor on the valley and you'll be able to buy this stuff. So we're just gonna buy literally all of it. It's what I've been doing like every season, just so I have some extras.
Whatever you need.
If you look at these trees, this is like the max range between trees that you can essentially go. I tried to make the trees be as close as possible so you can see how close you can like compact them. Some of these trees like are pretty massive and wide up at the top, especially the maple trees. I feel like with maple trees, they have like the widest range in between them, with the spruce trees being like the minimum range. But I'm just gonna plant a couple trees because we're gonna like watch these essentially grow. Before the end of the stream, we'll see all these pop up. So let's get a maple tree around here. And also, if you don't like that you placed a tree down, like you don't like where you placed it and you're like, oh, I want to move it, you just dig it up and you get the seed back. Everything I've shown up to these bushes has been free. So the evergreen or the seedlings for all the trees, the maple, birch, and spruce, the move building, that's all free. You don't pay for that. You're just getting that if you play the game. But the new decorations like the bushes, the evergreen trees, the rocks, the ponds, and then if you go to, it's kind of hidden, but if you go to fences, you also got the hedges. Anything with these little, I guess, spring symbols, these are what are only DLC specific. These are the first 4 shrubs that we have on here. The green shrub seeds, the wild rosebush seeds, the yellow flowering shrub seeds, and the white flowering shrub seeds. And it's kind of shady in here, so I'm actually gonna build new ones so you can see them. And you can actually build these pretty close to each other. Like you can almost kind of like combine them. They're all basically green right now, it's spring, but as soon as summer hits, that's when all the color comes out with these new decorations. So we will see them change next season. Another kind of interesting thing, you can actually just chop down these shrubs and they give you sticks. This is the majestic tree. This thing is massive. I'm not exaggerating this time when I say massive. This is my favorite decoration in the entire update, and it's not even close. And it's like I said, it changes every season, so this looks different depending on what time of year it is. This one, on the other hand, actually takes time to grow. So remember how I said all the trees takes a year to grow? If you get a majestic tree seed, which you have to buy from Domazir or an exotic goods vendor, you just place it, and after a year, it'll grow. Also, here's how the bushes and the majestic tree look in both the fall and winter season. But after these shrubs, we have the other trees. And this includes small evergreen tree A, B, and the majestic tree. And you'll probably recognize the evergreen tree, like this one right here. I love these trees, by the way. I think these were another, small evergreen seedlings. These trees or the seedlings can be bought from the exotic goods vendor Domazir. So you can just place them, and they don't take time to grow. The only things that take time to grow are the normal trees, so maple, spruce, and birch. Everything else you just place and it grows. And you can just cut these down if you want. These are the evergreen B, I believe. Yeah, small evergreen B. So it's pretty much just an evergreen A, but kind of chopped down to be this little bush here. Both of these plants look pretty much the same in the spring and summer, but I'll show you here how it looks in both the fall and the winter season. All right, next we got the rocks. Here's some rocks, guys. Once again, natural decorations and rocks. You got a flat rock, a tall rock, a wide rock, and the balancing rock. These are just, like I said, purely decoration, aesthetic value. And each of them cost 20 stones each, except for the balancing rock. That one costs, 50. Yeah, no, the rocks are expensive, so I hope you got a villager gathering rocks. And of course, here are how the rocks look in both the fall and the winter season. Next are the hedges. We got 2 hedges here. These are fences. So if you go to your fences, you can find hedges here. And you have a low hedge and a tall hedge. You just place them like a normal fence and you build them. I kind of want to make a hedge maze. Like I've always thought it'd be interesting to make a hedge maze. I know people have done it with like the bigger walls, but now that we have legit hedges, I think I'm gonna do it. I don't know if where I'll fit it in the village, but I think that would be fun. Can't forget the hedges too. Here's how they look in both the autumn and the winter. And then finally, we got 2 more decorations I gotta show off. These ones, aside from the majestic tree, are probably my favorites. We got ponds. We got 2 ponds here. We got the round pond and what is this one called? The rockery pond. So yeah, this is a round pond here. And then we got the rockery pond. And finally, the visuals on how the ponds look each season. This is all streamed here on YouTube, by the way. So if you want to check out the stream, be sure to check out my live tab. I usually stream 2 to 4 days a week. Also, don't forget to pay the king's tax of 1 like or 1 sub, or consider becoming a member of the Flatbread Mafia for emotes and a chance to play with me live. But until next time, y'all, thanks for watching and take care.